discuss the truth about reincarnation and the afterlife. In order to speak about this, you must first consult those who are masters at this topic. And who's that? That would be the ancestors, the dead. The blacks of Egypt, the Kamau, were clearly masters of the science of communion with the ancestors, as their vast tombs, sarcophagi, and mummy show. And all African religions emphasize training in ancestral rituals by their priestcraft. So, when I communed with the ancestors of Egypt, they said, in order for you to understand reincarnation, you must first have a grasp of incarnation. What is the purpose of any human's incarnation on earth? Imagine yourself being the supreme androgynous creator, and you make this vast, glorious universe, pulsars, galaxies, stars, planets, waterfalls, birds, trees, rain, snow, infinite beauty and wonder. Yet, there is no creature that you've made that can be fully conscious and aware of what you made, what it took to make it, and who was the maker. Take, for example, a small leaf on a tree and its chlorophyll. That chlorophyll is a wonder. It's a wonder of math, a wonder of chemistry. It's being run by very sublime high mathematical principles. Yet, the leaf is not fully conscious of A, the formulas running it, B, the genius behind the formula, and C, most importantly, the creator of the formula, the supreme androgynous being. So imagine you made art that no one appreciated. You poured your blood, sweat, and tears into this sculpture, and it's your life's culmination of work, yet no one ever sees it. No one ever appreciates it. That's exactly how the creator felt. And so, in order to have an experience of conscious appreciation and understanding of his work, he made humans. Humans' purpose is to be vessels in the physical dimension of infinite consciousness. No other creature in the known universe can be a vessel of unlimited mind. That's our speciality. We are a noumenal species, a mental species. All other things in the universe represent the display of the powers of nature. It's the Supreme Being showing off his power. We are no match physically for the powers of nature. We are no match for the hurricane, the earthquake, the tsunami, the volcano. We are no match for the claw of a lion, for the bite of the crocodile, for the sting of the black widow spider. Nature's powers are far beyond ours. Yet, we do have something, a speciality. We have consciousness, we have intelligence, we have awareness. And by intelligence I mean divine mind, not cleverness, which the West exalts. I'm talking about the consciousness that comes from deep meditation, deep self-awareness. This is our speciality, and through it we're able to deal with the tsunami, the hurricane, the bite of the spider, and make anti-venom through our intelligence. So our mission as humans is to grow into unlimited consciousness intelligence. Now, to ensure this, the Creator left an omen, left a signature in the skies, in the heavens, to teach humans how to go from limited consciousness to infinite, unlimited consciousness. And what is that? That is the zodiac, the stars in the sky, the Dendera zodiac of Egypt, what many call the natural zodiac, which means the first sign in the natural sequence would be the ram of Geb, Aries, and the 12th sign will always be the fish of Nun, or Pisces. And these signs in between, including these first two, are the 12-step program for unlimited consciousness. Each sign has a job. Each sign has a god or deity whose job is to block you from the gifts that deity or sign offer. For example, the bull we call Ahita or Taurus. The god of Taurus is Ahita. That god's job is to give or deny you money. If you have no money, it's because you have not awakened cosmic consciousness about wealth and abundance. You've not awakened prosperity consciousness. So Ahita has to block you until you dig deep and you meditate on your money problems and come out with a higher awareness about it to resolve the problems with your finances. So each star god brings you blocked karmas unless you dig deep into cosmic higher consciousness to resolve the issue. That's how we are forced to become wiser, to become greater in awareness. Now, the next two things represent what people most ask me about reincarnation. Number one, can you change your race? The answer is no. That's spelled N-O-E. No. No way. The Egyptian ancestors, when I drummed into the spirit world, and I asked them that question, I said, can you change your race? They took me to 3 trees. Apple, orange, peach. They said, each of these are the races of the earth. There are only 3 races. There is the black race, the white race, and the Asiatic race, which includes Native Americans. So, each tree does what? The apple tree, let's say, are the Africans. An apple tree has an agenda to promote appleness, to nourish the next generation of apples with lessons learned from the prior generation. So, Generation A survived storms, survived plagues, survived being eaten by birds, and then passed on into its DNA how it survived. The next generation of apples absorbs that DNA and now has those tools and database. So the next apple generation is stronger and tougher. You do not see apples falling off the tree, rolling over to the oranges, and trying to teach oranges about being an apple. A, the orange has no interest in being an apple because its task is orangeness. B, what a waste it would be if the apple tree spent all that resource and energy into its seed only to have the seed roll off somewhere else, taking all that knowledge with it. No. You are born into an ancestral pool, and your job, a tree, that's why we call it family trees, because the ancestors said that's exactly how it is. Trees give the answer of reincarnation over races, through races. You don't change your race. You don't change your apple species into an orange or a banana or whatever. So, that's that. This means that no, you cannot then say, if you are a white man, that you were once a pharaoh of Egypt, unless you're from the Ptolemies, who were Macedonians, who were white people. Otherwise, those were black men who were the pharaohs. Black, blue, black Africans. So, you have to remember, you stay in your own tree line. That's conservation of energy, because all of the lessons are recycled back into that which gave you life. You have to feed your ancestors back, because they gave you life. You stand upon their shoulders. And they worked hard for you to survive and to be able to exist. You owe them. What you owe them are the lessons you learned to survive. And each generation of children, their job is to finish the unfinished business of their parents. If you are a parent and you have children, their job is to complete the unfinished business of you or your grandfather, your grandmother, your great-great-grandmother. Something in the generations past will try to come through the next generation to complete itself. So you have to feed that which gave you life. The apple seed must feed apple trees. Ultimately, all apple trees around the world, no matter where they are in distance, belong to a larger ancestral group called the archetypal apple tree, where all apples come from in principle. the god of appleness. So all trees, when they die each generation, feed into the pool of appleness, feeding all future trees. Can you change your gender and your sexuality? No. Think of sexuality as a lake source with two streams coming out of it, two tributaries. The source is the androgynous source, which is where the gays and homosexuals are born. Then you have a stream that is yang, electric, heterosexual male, and a stream that is magnetic, yin, heterosexual female. Each of these streams are owned by a god as well as the source. The god of the androgynous source is called Hapi. He gives birth to gay and lesbian people who have experiences who then die, and like ice cubes placed into a water, at death the ice cube of the consciousness of that gay person dissolves into the pool of androgeneity, informing it, teaching it. So Hapi grows. Heterosexual males, same thing, they die, their consciousness experience goes into, like an ice cube, the river of the male yang heterosexual gods, informing those lineages of gods for the next generation of heterosexual males, and the same for the females. So the whole thing is recycling like trees, like seeds, back into your source that gave you your base. Now, the final part I wish to speak on is the image in front of you. You have a mummy laying on a lion bier, a lion table, with a bird called the Ba, your divine spark, your immortal witness consciousness. This is the part of you that cannot die or be born. It is like the one watching the movie of your life, eating popcorn, watching you. It's not involved, but yet it's observing what you're doing. And it holds in its talons the Shen, which means to circulate, to reincarnate, or to orbit. And the Shen is a rope that's made into a circle and then bound with that horizontal bar at the bottom, meaning you are roped into, bound by the ancestral threads that are your basis. The white circle in the middle would be the pool of your ancestral legacy. So the Shen is being held, meaning the memory of your ancestral experience is being absorbed into this little symbol, carried by your divine spark. And notice the Shen is right over his penis, where the mummy's penis would be, meaning you're going to reseed your karmas, seed them again. The bird is flying towards that flame at the head of the mummy, which is the flame of your future constellations. The stars are flames in the sky. And the flame at the feet, that white and red flame sticking up, is the flame of your past chart. And the Shen he's holding is your present chart. So we're seeing past, present, future here. And at death, you need to understand that you have 9 spirit bodies. Your physical body is made of dust. Your shahut, your aura, your meridians and chakras are made of fire. Your ka, your soul, is made of water. Your ab, mind, is made of air. And at death, they dissolve back to their original elements, feeding each of those elements. So your physical body dies. The dust goes into the dirt, feeding the rocks and the stones. And the earth god, Geb, learns from your experience every time we bury a soul. That's why the Egyptians made their monuments in stone, Stonehenge. Even at tombs and cemeteries, it's called a tombstone. We link stones to the dead because our flesh feeds and educates Geb, the earth god. And each body is trained and dissolved to the element that it came from. Each body must be learned what's called Ma'ah, divine order, cosmic consciousness. If your lower bodies were not taught cosmic consciousness but a bunch of mess, crazy ideas, chaotic living, we say they become foul, they begin to stink. They will not be absorbed by the Ba into that circle of the Shen because they stink. And the Ba is pure, wears white, we say. Does not take stinky things, stinky souls. You will know this as reincarnating, having forgotten. If your lower souls stink, a god called Alma or Almit, the devourer of souls, eats the stinky souls. You call that oblivion. You forget, obliviate. If your lower bodies are made in the form of divine law, health, divinity, cosmic consciousness, then they're absorbed and you come back recalling all your past life. This is the secret